Hi everyone, I am Jessica McCoy and this is my case study, Every Day Counts. So a summary of the case, I am taking over as new principal at Golden Oak High School. A big part of my role is to figure out why attendance has significantly decreased over recent years. Golden Oak had been recognized in the past for high attendance rates and now they have significantly declined. Part of that is due to the change of the community by becoming more diverse. There's more Hispanic and Asian families moving into a predominantly white community. Also, the majority of parents have a long commute to work or they own their own business, so it gives them less time to be involved in school activities. There is a positive relationship between the school and the local agencies that deal with truancy and absence issues. Within the school, the majority of teachers are veteran teachers who have been there 10 or more years, and there's a low turnover rate. As far as attendance policies go, there's not really any follow through. Multiple staff members excuse students for various reasons, such as the athletic director, the counselor, and those veteran teachers. They make the choice, and the absences tend to be where it's multiple days in a row, not just a day missed here or there, and they're all for various reasons, mostly unrelated to school. So as far as the legal or ethical issues go, the definition for allowable absences defined by the state and what is adopted by the school district is anything that involves an illness, death of an immediate family member, inclement weather, or any valid reason that is pre-approved by school officials. The issues here is that not all teachers are reporting accurate attendance. They are giving excuses where there shouldn't be because they're making those choices on their own. Excessive absences should be resulting in a declining grade, and that's not happening in every class or every situation. And then there are those that are not parents or legal guardians of students who are writing notes to get students excused for extended absences. So there was one with a minister, and that's a concern, especially with confidentiality. So my whole thing to look at is that I believe school officials are not advocating for attendance as a valuable tool in school improvement and student success, and that's what I want to try to fix. So as far as the facts go, what I do know about people is, of course, I am in my first year as the principal, and I have veteran teachers among me. 85% of my students have excessive absences, which are 10 or more in a semester. There are homeroom teachers and other staff that are excusing absences without any guidance from administration. I have chosen 5 students to focus on who have excessive absences for various reasons and just trying to figure out what's going on there. Not only are parents, but non-guardians requesting these leave of absences, and it's being approved by the school currently. And being that the school and local agencies have a positive relationship, that's something I want to build on. What I don't know is what type of contact the school has made on these student absences. If all stakeholders understand the attendance policy and if it's been put out there and made clear to everyone. I also am curious of just the staff's relationship with past principals, being that I'm new and most of the teachers are veteran. What kind of relationship that those teachers have with their past principal, and then the principal's role as far as attendance goes. And if there's an assistant principal that can handle these attendance issues, being that there's over 800 kids, that's a pretty decent sized school that would usually have a secondary administrator on duty that could help with this. What I know about the places, it is a suburban school, most with working families, mostly white middle class, but there is diversity coming up in the community, and a lot of the parents struggle to get involved just because they are busy with work and have other obligations. What I don't know is overall what the community involvement in the school has been. and also if there's any other outside factors that could be affecting the school, anything related to diversity like increase in violence, single parent households, or anything related to demographics that might affect the attendance issues as well. As far as the programs go, this is a high school that has many extracurricular activities available so that all students can be involved. There's also VOTEC classes available during school time. What I don't know is how academics are valued versus sports and activities, and how rigorous those academics are, the expectations of teachers, and if they're upheld. I am curious on what is it that is making the students, what are we not doing to make the students want to come to school, and how we can fix that. That is the question I want to answer, is what are we not doing? And then just how is the school, what's the school's role in the community? So to prioritize information, could this decision be damaging to stakeholders? And yes, definitely it can. Attendance does affect student performance, but it also affects the parental support, community involvement, and staff unity. So I don't want to just come in heavy-handed and plow over people to get something accomplished. All different groups have an important stake in the outcome. The staff, because it will be determined how they're going to handle those absences, on whether they're excused or not. Students, because it could affect their grades or their ability to succeed. Parents, it's going to make them accountable to get their kid to school every day. And myself, as the new principal, I want to keep that unity and trust from my staff and all my stakeholders. So I just have to be very careful in that. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? I don't believe so. I feel like they need to be addressed or readdressed on the attendance policy because of just how different everyone seems to be doing it. Can I learn more about the situation? Certainly I can. I want to speak with those five students and find out their reasons for these absences. And I'd also would like to talk to the staff for any ideas, any concerns they have, or just feedback in general on how our attendance policy has worked in the past when it was going good versus now. I do not know enough to make an ultimate decision on what should be done to improve that attendance policy. I came up with a lot of different strategies. The first one is just that I would choose to contact all staff either through a faculty meeting or an email to ask about the attendance policy, just to get some feedback, what is or isn't working according to them, and maybe their suggestions on how we can improve, just to keep that unity and keep them involved. As far as outcome and consequences go, the staff could either say, no, it's fine how it is, or yes, here, this is what we need to do different. So you just never know what you're going to get. My second strategy would be to meet with the athletic director, counselor, and those homeroom teachers who are excusing students for various reasons. I would explain our current attendance policy and try to decide whether or not their excuses fit within that. If not, then I would redefine what their role is as a staff member and who should be responsible for enforcing the attendance. Then with the third one, I would want to speak with the 5 individual students that I have singled out or chose to focus on. I would speak to them with their parents and discuss their absences and how it's a concern for their success. I would explain the policy and possible consequences that can come from missing so many days, and then work on how to prevent these absences in the future. My fourth plan would be to improve attendance. My fourth strategy would be to make a plan to improve attendance and address that to the staff, but do this from this point forward, not try to go back and fix or adjust anything from the past. So as a new principal, I have a lot going on, and I would just focus on what's here and now and in the future. Another strategy would be to speak with all the stakeholders on the attendance issues and reach out to local agencies for their support. And then my last option would just be to uphold the current attendance policy by making all by making all absences only be excused with principal approval, and just play that out for the second semester and see if that changes anything. So when I looked at all the different options, I felt like when I involve all staff, I'm creating a collaborative environment so everyone can share their concerns. I use the data from first semester along with attendance percentages from prior years to show that there's a significant decline and that it is a huge concern. Um, Staff will be able to, they could possibly explain the individual student circumstances to me since I'm new, but they're not. They know many of the students. So I would use their knowledge in that to help me decide what are viable excuses and which are not. And we would all work together to develop a plan that would support the school improvement and student success. Okay, and then I did just list some other options as well, like when I went through and evaluated the different ones. As far as advocating for my students, I would be doing that when I met with the 5 students to discuss their absences. One quote that I thought was extremely important is, "Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it." It's been a quote that's said many times over, and I think that's very true in this situation, that if I don't go back and look at the past and learn from the past, then we'll never be able to move forward and improve. So that's a huge point that I want to focus on when I'm making the changes. Also, I always want to involve all my stakeholders because they help me in advocating for my staff and students in order to support the school and improve attendance. All stakeholders need to be involved. So I felt like my best option would be to kind of combine multiple ones. I want input from all staff. I want communication from those that have been involved in making those attendance calls, and support from local agencies who are already support the school so that I just have that backing. So my plan, I would sit down first with my AD and counselor because those are my biggest allies. They're my greatest support. They're, as close to extra admin as possible. And we would just go through the attendance policy to understand it and see where we're at as a school with it. Then second, I would email all staff asking for their input, any understanding and questions or concerns related to the attendance policy. Third, I'll evaluate the information that the staff gives along with current and past attendance data and develop a plan moving forward in second semester. I want all staff involved in the development of the plan. That's why I asked for their input. Fourth, I will contact those local agencies to discuss addressing future truancy issues. Then I will meet with those students, those 5 students I identified, and talk with them and their parents about how to decrease their number of absences in the second semester. And then lastly, I will communicate out to all stakeholders what our attendance policy is and who they should contact if their student has to miss multiple days. So as far as my outcome, if I purposely involve all stakeholders in the development and implementation of this plan, I am creating the unity needed to limit any issues that may arise. I want the full support of my staff, so I want them involved, and I also want the policies to work. And then if that doesn't work, then there's a plan B, and we just start fresh second semester, take note of those repeat offenders, and deal with them as they come. So I feel like I did meet standard 6 because I evaluated the current policy, developed a plan moving forward, advocated for my staff and students, used data to inform my plan, and supported the school and success of students. Thank you.